To what extent do you think we are missing the growth downgrades through the next 18 months?
We are, John, unfortunately. There are three big changes going on that we have recognized the impact on the inflation side, but we haven't recognized the impact on the growth side. One is changing globalization. Two is limited policy flexibility. And three is the payback for many years of depending on artificial sources of growth. And when that unwinds, it doesn't just have an inflation component that we're talking a lot about, but it also has a medium-term growth component that we're going to start talking about as well.
So, Mohamed, over the last month, you've talked about this binary choice between a hard landing or prolonged inflation. Is this another reason why you think the central bank might have to choose a lesser evil here and tolerate above-target inflation for a much longer period of time?
John, you know, it's gotten really complicated. I think now there's broad appreciation that a soft landing, that pathway is not very likely. We should hope for it. It's certainly the most desirable way to go. But because the Fed is so late and because the market keeps on running away from the Fed, it's less and less likely. So that is really unfortunate. Then you got to, like you said, make a decision about if you have to make a mistake, which one? I suspect the Fed will end up flip-flopping. I don't think they're going to opt for one or the other like most Wall Street analysts are trying to do. I think they'll end up flip-flopping. And that's not a good thing because that means we may end up with an inflation problem persisting and a growth problem persisting.
Put some more meat on that, Mohamed. What will lead to that flip-flop?
So already the Fed's being forced to get more hawkish. Every time it gets more hawkish, the market says, I want you to be even more hawkish. You've been talking about it this morning. Now suddenly 75 basis point hikes are being talked about when 4 weeks ago talking about 50 basis point hike was courageous. Yesterday, the break-evens went up. The implied market measure of inflation went up just after Chair Powell became even more hawkish. So what you're getting is the Fed isn't able to catch up to the market narrative. We've seen this in developing countries. It's not a good dynamic to be in. It typically results when you're very late as a policymaker, and we're seeing it play out, John.